Bilateral blow with the amputation. Wait, turn lower, lower. Get a turn on this way.
Medic!
Hey, I need shit over here to do
I need a medic! I need a medic! I need a medic! Medic! Come on!
Hey!
Help! Somebody! Fucking help! Medic! I don't have any tourniquets! I don't have any tourniquets! Help! Fuck! He's bleeding! Help me! Hurry up!
With my daddy, he's not on wheel.
Get it on! Get it on! Get it on!
As soon as you get those stabilized, I need to get back. Go to EST.
Watch the middle.
Lower. Lower.
Let's go! Sorry. There's artillery. Put him in the beam. Got him on the litter. 5 to 10 feet. I don't know what else. Is there an OCT around? I don't think so. Airway's closed.
I need you to manage up these steps.
Airway's closed. I said 6 minutes and 7 minutes. Right to the stimulus will start.
Hush! I need you to listen and see if he's got any kind of pneumo. Hey, I need a chest dressing to put over this wound on the thigh.
Oh. Can't use my arms.
See if he's coming to or he's still talking to him. Hey, where's he coming? Okay, so what does he need? I need an airway to put in the MPA. I need a dressing on the head. Got one? Is anyone? You got tape? I got tape. I got this one. I got a CD. Need the MCD first. Got the knife. Here's fine. Here's fine. I need tape. I sent somebody for a BVF, but they have to come back now. Tape. I need that MPA. MPA. Right. At least you need it. Need more guys. Right. Hold that on there. I'm going to make an improvised combo. Get down. Cover patient. Cover patient. Indirect fire. Tagging him. Over there. Hold up the wound. With the seat, with the needle.
It's already, I can breathe.
All right, go. Put another one in. Put it on this side. All right, after this, we need a tape and go. So give me half circles around this decon with charcoal. All right. I'm doing this side. Doing that side. Finish your zone. What time do we apply this? 1450? 1455? 1455. 1455? Okay, prelude. All right, reassess the chest. See how his breathing's going. Over here? Where's it at? Where's your expect?
You guys controlled that fucking break there. Good. But then why did you wrap it? When you wrapped it, you didn't even get to the airway. You stick with that march algorithm? That was Strider that I was presenting. That injury set, you see that black around the lips? When those vapors went off from the IED, he inhaled that shit. His trachea is swelling up like a bitch right now, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that Strider was that trachea closing. So if you would have dropped a fucking crike on him, you would have opened him up, that tension pneumo. So when you're checking his chest, you can't fucking touch his chest and feel it. You need to get down where that diaphragm is, put your fingers in, put your face on that groin, look up, look for that rise and fall. Feel that diaphragm expanding and contracting, you know what I'm saying? That trach closing with that blackness around, that's what I wanted you to see. All right, that tension pneumo on the right side, great placement, good push, just too late. You know what I'm saying? Give or take, there's a lot to that. All right, so when you're assessing, I'm gonna touch, all right, come up, look at his airway, teeth, tongue intact, no blood, no mucus, make sure there's no tongue lack, don't get that crike in, don't stem it, check for placement, you know what I'm saying? Once you've got that crike in, that tension pneumo would have probably dropped about a minute after, because I set it up for about a 3 to 6 minute interval. So when you push right now I'm pushing, it'll feel like this. I feel resistance, it's kind of hard to push in. If I'm forcing that air, what you need to do is assess it. Whatever you do, assess it and make sure it was effective. Don't drop it and be like, all right bro, I dropped it, that shit's good. It'll go down, and it may not go all the way up, and eventually it's just gonna slowly continue like this. You know what I'm saying? But for this one, I mean, just like medic. And so many fucking dudes were just hanging out, you know? And they weren't responding like, shit, what's my job? So that way, like, you're gonna be like, all right, Roger, regardless of my rank, right? So if I went to the, well, so you thought, you know what I'm saying? So take charge of it, but hey, you're fucking with me, you're with me.
Yeah. And that's when I saw you guys down. And my first arm actually was dragging somebody back. Anything I can help with here?
Yeah, I got lost. It's hard to tell. Like when you put that. I got it.
Nah, no, we need to go and wash that.
There's more patients in the Chris? Yeah, they just
fracture pelvis, is there internal hemorrhage? Was his BP?
Pilots are pretty good at fighting.
Oops, sorry.
Incision, dilator, mortise, pull, blood. No pericardium, so I need to do probably it's going to be a pericardial window, turn into sternotomy.
Time?
Huh? As soon as they're ready to go. He'll be number one. They're setting up his bed now. We'll hot bed it like we did last time, okay? So he's got an evisceration due to a blast injury. Yeah. I want you to start getting him prepped, get a rugged head on him, get a bear hugger on him. All right, how much blood has he got since I came in here? 1-4, sir.
Blood pressure is about 60 over 40. Heart rate is about 90.
Okay, so we're going to hang the other unit.
Okay.
Has Belmont started?
We are starting it now.
Okay. Heart rate's coming back up a little bit, 95.
Okay.
Right angle. And ties. Put it in here. All right. Hooray! Huh? Got it? Got it? Up top. Yeah. Good. Give me one below. Huh? It's only going to open a little bit.
Another 500 calcium.
So then we're going to take the Mets. Chest. Do I see anything?
Nothing in the right
Okay,
chest.
good. We need another chest tube, please.
Would I have any?
I need somebody to plug in the Bovie concurrent. Get the suck. Just a hemostat or something.
Hawkeye 1-3. This is Hawkeye.
All right, anesthesia. You ready?
Ready, go.
All right, incision. Okay, checking zone 2, which is the bilateral kidneys.
Looks good.
All right, checking zone 3 for both iliacs and pelvic bleeding.
Done.
40 over 80, respiratory rate 20. Stats are 89. He needs an airway. And face scale is about 8. He doesn't say anything. He was alert.
Oh, okay.
So I got this one out. Okay, so we're gonna simulate it. Yeah, so put it up just on the side. We don't want to cover him. And just keep an eye. He's got that facial fracture, so you're just gonna have to be very. Yeah.
You know how to do this?
Okay, so you will have your gloves on. Yep.
There you go. Make sure you gotta be careful. We still need a seal.
Yeah.
I'm Specialist Hall Joshua. I'm 68 Delta, and I'm with the 628 FST.
All right, so tell me, what are you doing out here?
So we are running our yearly 2-week training out here in Camp Fort Hunter Liggett, and we are in our FST mode. We are doing our forward training away from the cache. So our job is to be closer to the battlefield so that patients can get the surgical needs that they need quicker than just going straight to the cache.
Okay. Why? So this specific training here, can you tell me a little bit about it?
So we do, since we are an FRST, that stands for Forward Resuscitative and Surgical Team, we have to get evaluated on our skills yearly, and so that's what this training is for. So we are training out here at Global Medic to get our yearly evaluations. So we are an FRST, which stands for Forward Resuscitative and Surgical Team, and we need to be evaluated yearly on our skills. Yes, I think it's very important. So that's good training for us, to brush up on our skills. For me, myself, I just joined this unit about 5 months ago when they had just got back from deployment. And 60 Delta is a surgical tech, and I don't do that on the outside. I'm a firefighter. And so this training for here is really important for me. So, 24, I was in school. I'm halfway done with my biology degree, and I'm a firefighter / EMT for San Antonio, and I've been doing that for 3 years now. So yes, we do come out here every year. Last year, I was with the 228 cache in July, and it was extremely hot and dry. And this year, the weather is much better. And I feel like field conditions, we're out here just by ourselves, which is how we would normally be. So I feel like it mimics it very greatly. Major Gochner, he's a real smart guy. He's really intelligent. He's not just a doctor, he's like a farmer and like a cowboy too. So he has a bunch of cool stories. He's a really good way of explaining things to me, and he's really helpful in the OR. You know, he's stern, but he's fair. He's real good.
And in this OR, what exactly did you do today?
So we received we received a Moscow, and we had 2 surgical patients. The surgery that I did was a pericardial window, where we cut down the sternum to peek into the heart to make sure none of the heart or the vessels and veins around it or arteries are damaged.
Awesome. And what did you learn specifically?
So I learned about cutting into the sternum with not a drill. We used a hammer and a chisel, and we lifted that up, and then we looked inside, we checked everything, we gave them blood, we got them we gave them 3 chest tubes, and attached them up to the Belmont, and I learned about just more about my job, you know, and knowing my tools and all that.
My name is Sergeant Robert Nikolas. I'm with the 7304th out of San Antonio, Texas. So currently I'm in Fort Hunter Liggett in California, and what we're really doing is the E&E cell, so the mannequin, I guess you could say. And what we do is we present casualties to these caches to kind of test their limits and just see how, not only how their treatments are, but how their communications are, their logistics, just the overall patient care. Oh, absolutely. So honestly, the E&E cell, what we do here, I've never actually seen it before. This is my first rotation, and it's phenomenal. Like, we're not only creating realistic battlefield injuries, but we're testing the limits. And on top of that, we do stress inoculation and desensitization, right? So what we do here is to kind of, like I was saying, is just do stress inoculation, desensitization, and honestly just provide solid training to not only improve the healthcare, but also just test like the logistics side of what you'll see. Specifically, yeah, so on top of the mannequins, right, so the mannequins really just create bodies. That's all you have. You're not going to have great training on it. We can moulage them up, but even then it's not going to be, it's all right training. What really adds to the training, what benefits of the training is the trauma FX and the Simman 3Gs. So the trauma FX are both share mostly like what you'll see downrange, a lot of IEDs, so we have a lot of amputations, shrapnels, GSWs, gunshots, right? And what we can do with these trauma FX is we can replicate a more intense, realistic version of those injury sets. So we can do, on top of, if we add moulage, we can do realistic injury sets, and on top of that, we can monitor. So we can control the vitals, we control what the injury sets are. So if we want to drop pneumos, hemos, right, which relatively be the same, we can drop those. If we want to close that airway, force intubation, what we can really do here with those trauma FX is improve a more realistic way of training that we can get back to the soldiers. Everyone here in the CNE cell, Sergeant First Class Alberta, Sergeant Palma, Sergeant Tim Stowe, Staff Sergeant Brandon Brazil, Captain Cox, Specialist Johnson, Specialist Fontenot, Sergeant Guerrero, Major Gonzalez, key player, and another major is Major Ma'am Drake. She is killing it. Sergeant Pers, really just all of the organic NCOs and leadership that I really created this CNE, especially Sergeant First Class Alberta and Major Gonzalez. So on top of the mannequins, on top of the trauma FXs, we have live role players, which is actually a really good aspect of the training. So live role players add that stress. So with mannequins, right, you can't get that vocal stress, which may not sound like much, excuse me, but it's very key. So with live role players, we're able to add emotion into it, and emotion plays a lot into it, right? You can become more attached.